friends, and welcome to West Bloomfield 911. I'm Officer Rick, and on behalf of Chief Mike Patton and my brothers and sisters in the West Bloomfield Police Department, welcome to the show. We have a friend of the township, in fact, very involved in the township, Cherie Van Vliet, but she's here as a representative of the Senior Advisory Council, District 5 of Oakland County. Cherie, how are you?
Very nice. How are you? Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're glad you're here. Now, Cherie, don't run away. We're going to do a segment we call the Corner Spotlight, where we recognize an employee of the police department. Folks, if you look on the screen, you will see the smiling face of Police Officer Fred Kesto Jr. Fred's one of the new guys here. He came in July of 2015. He's a great young man. We're very, very fortunate to have a man of this caliber and quality in the police department. You know, Fred said his favorite food, I gotta tell you, Fred, you're the only one to ever tell me your favorite food is chicken tenders. No one has ever said that. So you're very unique in that capacity. And when I asked him about his favorite book, he said it is The Great Santini, which was published in 2002 and written by Pat Conroy. Now, Fred and I talked about that because I saw the movie that starred Robert Duvall, and I really liked that movie. But as it is often the case, Fred said the Great Santini novel had much more in it, and he said it was much better than the movie. So you know what, Fred? I'm going to have to take your word for it, and I think I'm going to read it because I did like the movie. And his favorite movie, though, speaking about that, is Remember the Titans, the 2000 drama with Denzel Washington. And you know what, Fred? I enjoyed that immensely. It's a great guy flick, you know, great for manly bonding. And I enjoyed it as well. Of course, Denzel Washington's a phenomenal actor. Favorite music is country and western. And when I asked him about accomplishments or hobbies, he said he likes to work out and exercise. And folks, if you see Fred, you're going to notice he's in great shape. He's a strapping young guy, and he loves to spend time with his family. And when he was in school, and he enjoyed wrestling and playing sports, and you can tell by the shape he's in that he's very good at all of that. And one thing I admired about this young man, he did not forget where he came from, and he admired one of his teachers in high school, and he gave me a quote by that teacher. In fact, it was a high school coach by the name of Ray Koss. He wanted Mr. Koss to get that credit. He quoted him saying, "God, family, academics." Fred, that's wonderful that you remember your old high school coach, and we're glad you're with us. We hope you have a long and illustrious and safe career. Folks, we're going to turn the corner spotlight off on Police Officer Fred Kesto, and if you see him, wave to him and say hello. Now, before we go to our guest, we receive a lot of, and I know myself, I receive a lot of complaints about people receiving emails and solicitation through their email and on the website for someone to fix their computer, or they'll get a solicitation pretending to be Microsoft. Hey, we'll fix your computer. They'll get a solicitation, and the picture on the website or the email will look like it's from the IRS or the FBI. Folks, no one is going to send you that information through your email account. No legitimate agency, the IRS, the FBI, the West Bloomfield Police, Google, Microsoft are going to send you those type of solicitations via email asking you for personal information. That's a scam. Someone is sending that to you trying to seek your personal information to destroy your identity and or steal money from you now or at a later date. So disregard those. And what I would tell you is if you get an email from anybody and you didn't solicit it, and you don't know who it is, just delete it. Even if they're not trying to get money from you, if you open that email that's sent to you, you may get a virus in your system which destroys all of your personal records and may even damage or destroy your hard drive. If you have any questions, certainly feel free to give me a call in the Crime Prevention Unit. But remember, if you don't know who it's from, delete it, don't open it up. Folks, we're going to come right back with our very special guest, Cherie Van Vliet, so don't go away. Come on back.
You're watching West Bloomfield 911 on Civic Center TV, a service of the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission. For more information or to watch episodes on demand, visit civiccentertv.com/WB911. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
The West Bloomfield Police Foundation raises money to help those who protect and serve the community. Whether it's emotional or financial support, the foundation provides a helping hand to officers, their families, and those in the community. For more information on the West Bloomfield Police Foundation, contact Kurt Lawson at 248-975-8900 or visit wbpolicefoundation.org.
Hello, folks. We are back. We have with us today, and I'm very excited about this. We've gotten to speak over the phone, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Cherie Van Vliet, she is here as the representative for the Senior Advisory Council, District 5 of Oakland County. Cherie, how are you?
I am wonderful, and how are you today?
Good, good. Now, a lot of people may recognize your face because you're not only, well, this is a voluntary position you do to help people, and we'll talk about that, but you also represent the township on the zoning board.
That is correct.
And of course, you get a lot of money, a retirement income from them.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, we do get paid for that. It is a minimal amount, but you know what? It's about the community and serving the community.
Well, and that's obvious by the fact that you also work on this Senior Advisory Council for the county, and that's really a volunteer position.
Yes, it is. We are appointed by our county commissioners.
Okay.
Each county commissioner appoints a member from their district area. There are 21 commissioners.
Okay.
And then there are 4 at-large that are appointed, so it's a 25-member board. The purpose of the board is to go out into the community and find out the issues that are facing our seniors. Bring back those issues to our county executive, who is Al Brooks, Mr. Patterson, and help to determine the gaps that might exist so that we can continue to make Oakland County a great place to live for everyone, including our seniors.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because even though Oakland County is a relatively well-to-do county in comparison to some of the others within the state of Michigan, we do have people that are in need, and we do have pockets of poverty. And so what brought you to do this? I was looking at your background, and you have a certification in aging studies in both dementia care and nursing home administration from Madonna University, my alma mater. And
Crusaders.
Yeah. In fact, both my daughters graduated from there as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And a master's of science and administration from Central Michigan. That's kind of, the master's doesn't really fit kind of what you're doing.
Well, the first part of my career was very much business oriented. I dealt with people a lot based on, I did construction for a long time.
Really?
I did.
Wow.
I was one of the few females who would go out on construction sites. I worked for a big box retailer, and I was in charge of their construction department. So I traveled around and was responsible for finish out of projects, getting them to certificate of occupancy, which lends to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Yeah.
My father developed Lewy bodies dementia, and I have always had an affinity and a love for seniors. And it was important to me to spend the last months of his life with him. I left my job to do just that, and found an absolute love and need for an understanding of the behaviors that go along with those diseases and helping families understand that.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. You mentioned this particular form of dementia that your father had was Lewy bodies dementia.
That's correct.
Now, what is, I guess, different about that versus, most people kind of just put dementia as Alzheimer's.
Correct.
But yet there's a variety of forms of dementia.
That's correct. You're absolutely right. Dementia is there are diseases that are contained under the umbrella of dementia. Alzheimer's is one. Lewy bodies is one. Parkinson's disease is a dementia disease. There's vascular dementia, and that it means that they are caused by for different reasons, and they affect areas of the brain in different ways and in different patterns. And that's when you start to see the behaviors develop differently. So for my father and those who have had a loved one or someone they've known with Lewy bodies, one of the first things that I've had people say to me is, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Lewy bodies is one of the most difficult because there's always a lucidity that stays with the Lewy bodies that I've witnessed personally, and it was the same with my father. But I think what I saw most overall is so many families struggle with these diseases that fall under dementia. It's hard to understand and to live a day-to-day trying to be happy. And there is and should be that happiness there every day, and there are ways to find it. And I would like to help people try and find that so that they have those memories with their loved
you know
ones.
what, Dad, I admire you for that, and I sincerely mean that. And God bless you for taking time off to take care of your dad. Fortunately, I didn't have any parents that have suffered that, but I have had other members of the family, not necessarily that particular form. My maternal grandmother ended up in a fetal position wearing diapers and didn't know anybody, and it just used to break my heart, you know, to see her that way. So how do you go about, well, first of all, what's the difference with your father's disease? Can you explain a little bit about that?
Sure.
Because I've never heard of it.
With my father, one thing that we used to joke about, and laughter is huge for me. My father and I were very, very close, and he would follow my lead, and so I'm a very funny person anyway as far as injecting humor. With Lewy bodies, he would look to see the label of the clothing, and so he would put his clothing on backwards.
Oh boy.
So he would be dressed in one layer of clothing, but it might be on backwards because he was looking at the label to put it on. And a funny story of going out to get him some new clothes, he wore work pants because he was a metal model builder by trade. So we went to go get him some new pants because his pants were too large for him. And he went into the fitting room and he came out and he says, "So what do you think?" I said, "Dad, I think they're great, but you might want to turn them around and, you know, put the zipper in the front." And he looked, he said, "Okay, I think I'll do that." Excuse me, and that's part of the humor. The ability to say, okay, this is a horrible disease. This is tragic, and you can get so absorbed in the sadness of it, but you also have an opportunity to spend quality time with those individuals and still reach the individual.
You know, that's very true, and I think sometimes we lose track of that. When my father passed, he died of lymphoma, and his last month he was in a hospital. And even though it was very sad for us, obviously just as it was for you with your father, even in those moments you can find great joy and great, just nuggets of great moments that you'll never ever forget.
And that's absolutely it. And to contrast, say with an Alzheimer's, true Alzheimer's disease, a person can get dressed themselves, but they may have their clothes on perfectly on top of their pajamas. So it's all about the way the disease affects the brain and what areas of the brain and how it progresses through. And as I said, they're all tragic diseases and very difficult for families and the individuals themselves. But the essence of the individual remains until they take their last breath.
That's right. I agree with you.
And you always have an opportunity to understand that it is about that individual and find quality nuggets, if you will, to spend and enjoy and hang on to as life goes on.
That's right. That's right. Now, let's talk about that a little bit, because even though your organization is designed to help seniors, do you focus on seniors that have these physical illnesses that, like dementia, or is it to help all seniors?
It is to help all seniors.
Okay.
We do provide resources through many areas have senior centers, like the area that I cover for District 5 encompasses Waterford Township, portions of Waterford, portions of West Bloomfield, Kego Harbor, excuse me, pardon me, I'm so sorry.
Right. That's right. We just want you to keep breathing.
Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake, the village of Orchard Lake. And the Waterford Township has an excellent senior center. They are always having programs and workshops. They have Meals on Wheels programs. They have resources that they can provide that will allow you to find out if you need some type of respite care, which might go with someone that you have in your family that may have a dementia disease. If you need to have some housekeeping, which could go for someone that might have a dementia disease or just might be a senior that might be in some need of some help. So they all cross a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
And as well as the Area Agency on Aging,
Yes.
1B is a phenomenal resource. And so the resources available cover all areas of seniors and what their needs may be.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind. And let's focus a little bit, if you don't mind, we'll take a step back and focus on people that are suffering dementia. Now, if a person's younger, because we think of dementia and as an old person's disease, but yet there are people who start getting affected by that. Some can be in their 30s or 40s. Would they be eligible for some of the programs that your organization sponsors if they are suffering an old person's disease at a younger age?
Well, I would say that typically an early onset might be noticed in the 50s of someone in the age of 50s. If that is the case, I would suggest using the Alzheimer's Association as a resource more so than some of our local affiliates. However, I know that if a phone call was made or you were to reach out to any one of these organizations, they would certainly have the ability to direct you to the appropriate organization. And those organizations for specific needs are out there, like the Alzheimer's Association. There's a local chapter for Michigan that is an excellent resource. And that's an excellent question, because when you find out that someone that you're close to or that you love has a dementia disease or has Alzheimer's, most people know nothing about it.
Yeah, it's going to be devastating.
It is devastating. You don't know where to turn, you don't know where to go, you don't know who to ask. And to know that these resources are available. Even your local library, we have a fabulous, world-renowned, celebrated library.
Oh, absolutely.
And to go in and ask the resource desk and look at the resources that would be available, that would be, they'd have the ability to provide you with things that would be local for you to be able to get some help for you.
Yeah. You know, let's talk about what you do through Oakland County. Let's say I come to you and say, Cherie, my mother, my father is getting old and needs some help. They don't want to live with anybody. They still can kind of take care of themselves. Can you give me some guidance? What do I do?
Well, I would say absolutely. I think it's great that they still want to live by themselves, and I would congratulate you on being a wonderful son in continue to be in their lives. There are programs and assistance for virtually every need that might be out there. And what's coming through on Cutting Edge now, and traditionally we think of, oh, they need their lawn cut or they need the snow removed. And those are important things. They might need a little bit of grocery shopping here and there. Maybe some Meals on Wheels for nutrition. And those are wonderful programs. And now the programs are really starting to expand, pardon me, where they're coming through and using technology to help seniors and aging individuals who want to remain in their homes have the ability to do that.
Really?
Absolutely. And family members.
Now, how are they doing that?
They're doing that by using technology in a way that you can, once, if you get up in the middle of the night to have to use the bathroom, put your feet on the floor and it can light a path as you take steps.
Really?
Absolutely.
That's neat.
For family members who may live out of town, and this is something that it was developed more so for family members who may be further away, but certainly can be used in any circumstance, camera systems that allow you to log in and see that, oh, well, it's snowing there and I need to call and get somebody to come and shovel the walk.
Okay.
Or it's time to have somebody come and clean the house for mom.
That's great.
So you have the ability to keep a watchful eye over your loved ones while still allowing them their independence.
Yes.
So I'm very excited about all of the uses and thoughts that have come out, and there's companies now. Same Address is one of them, and that's through it is an affiliate agency that is through AAA 1B that provides all kinds of solutions.
Yes.
So that is a pay-for solution program. Many of them are, but you will see more, I think, individual companies starting to come up with these nice
That's
resources
amazing.
for families.
Now, does Oakland County, through your organization, help if someone is in financial need, help finance any of that, or is that something still the family would have to pay for?
That's still something that the family would have to pay
Okay.
for. You know, I still think, in my own personal opinion, we still haven't tackled the money issue yet.
Yeah.
Many of the things that
A lot of things.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're still in the, here's what Medicare and Medicaid will cover,
Right.
Private insurance will cover, and these are all of the things that are outside of it. And, hopefully you can be fortunate enough to partake in some of those.
Right.
But then again, there are some programs that can be, subsidized, and as I said, the resources that are available in our community through our senior centers, through AAA 1B, through National Council on Aging, they can help you find those ways and see if you
yeah.
qualify for that as
Sure.
well. So.
Well, now let's talk a little bit, when we had spoken over the phone, some of the problems with involving seniors, of course, is people that want to take advantage of them, even if they don't necessarily have a disease or a brain disease like dementia. But some people want to take advantage of seniors, just like we have predators take advantage of kids. Let's talk
Correct.
a little bit about that. What does your organization provide or help with seniors who may be victimized or potential victims in scams like we talked about earlier?
Well, and I wanted to commend you for your earlier comments. You're absolutely correct on these scams. And first thing I'd like to say to our seniors is you're not alone. And it doesn't matter whether you have a disease or not a disease, or if you're in your 30s or you're aging or a senior. I think seniors are more of a target because it's probably generally thought of that they have more to target than anyone else. What we do is provide information for what you should know, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and how to keep yourself safe.
Well, you gave me a list of phone numbers, and hopefully it's something we can put on the screen. I gave them to the folks in the control room, but we only have a couple minutes. So is there a number or a website or some information you would specifically like to tell our viewing audience and our seniors?
I would absolutely like to tell our audience and seniors about the Area Agency on Aging, which is 1B, which serves Oakland and Macomb County. The telephone number for that is 800-852-7795. And it can also be reached through the web at www.aaa1b.org. And the other one that I believe is a phenomenal resource would be the National Council on Aging. And their website is www.ncoa.org.
Excellent. Good information. Hopefully our seniors will take advantage of it, or their caregivers. And certainly they can go to any of those websites and get the help they need. And and I was joking at the very beginning about the zoning board, because I am a deacon in my church, and of course people ask me how much you get paid, and I tell them the same thing I got last year, nothing. So, yeah.
It is the same thing I got
yeah,
last year.
that's right. So, Cherie, it's great having you on, but don't
Thank
go
you so
away.
much.
We would like to remember a fallen officer. So, folks, if you would look on your screen, please remember in your thoughts and in your prayers Special Agent Adriana Vorderbruggen, of the United States Air Force Office of Special Investigations. Special Agent Vorderbruggen was killed in the line of duty on December 21st, 2015. She was killed with 5 other agents of the Office of Special Investigations, as well as 2 airmen. They were conducting a joint patrol as part of an investigation when a bomber drove a motorcycle into them and detonated the explosives. This was near Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan. 2 of the agents were promoted to sergeant posthumously, but if you would, please remember all of them, but especially in this particular memorial, Special Agent Adriana M. Vorderbruggen of the United States Air Force Office of Special Investigations. Remember her and her family, as well as her other colleagues in that agency. We say, sister, rest in peace. Your memory will never be forgotten, and we thank you for your service to our great country. We'd like to thank once again Cherie Van Vliet for coming on the show. Cherie,
Thank
it's
you.
a pleasure and glad to meet in
My
person.
pleasure.
You know?
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the good work that you do here in the community as well as in Oakland County. We appreciate all you do.
And I would like to give my thanks to the police officers.
Thank
all
you.
the police officers, the West Bloomfield police officers, and all of our fine police officers for keeping us safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the kind words. And folks, just as Cherie reaches out through the township and the county, we want to reach out through the police department. Please keep in touch with us. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Please sign up for Nixle. We'll be glad to tell you of pertinent information that's going on in your area. And of course, you can sign up for crime mapping and learn what's going on in the township. Folks, we'd like you to keep in touch with us here at West Bloomfield 911. Don't forget to watch us on Civic Center TV. And if you miss us on the telly, you can get us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Friends, take care of each other. Be safe. Love one another. Remember, tomorrow is promised to no one. I'm Officer Rick, and we'll see you again on West Bloomfield 911.